my first run, and it did not go as planned. So my car it's a low mile 2007. I just broke 15,000 miles on the way to the track actually, and it has the original air filter, the factory air filter from 2007. It's pretty dirty. So before my first run, I pulled the airbox cover and then pulled the air filter out, and then reclamped down the airbox. So you'll see soon here, I made my run, and I go into second. I spun pretty bad, first off. I went over the second beam, and by the time I put it in reverse, the lights were coming down, so I just jammed it back into first and floored it. So I spun pretty bad, and then I go into second, and it revs up to about 5 grand, 4,500 or so, and just hits a wall, like it's hitting a rev limiter or something, and it wouldn't, and you see it buck pretty hard, and I just let off and let it coast the rest of the way. So when I got back in, I popped the hood and noticed that the cover, or the clips on the cover for the airbox were hanging down, hanging off. So I realized after messing around for a few minutes that the rubber around the outside of the air filter creates kind of like a seal. I guess you could call it a gasket, but it gives a little bit more pressure. That kind of, it presses the lid up, so when the clips come on and over, they clip it down. Without an air filter inside, there wasn't enough resistance, and the lid was just flopping around. And so what I think happened is the lid opened during the run, and the MAF went nuts, and it just kind of locked me out of everything. The second run ended up going a little better, as in the car didn't freak out when I went into second gear, but I spun way too much. Spun a ton and ran a 13.9 at about 100 and slow, under 110. So yeah, first actual run. Third run ended up being my best run. Before we got up there, my buddy in the Camaro told me to try not doing a burnout. So I drove around the water, didn't even touch it at all. The guys were looking at me like I was an idiot, and I had my best launch of the day. It stuck, didn't spin, there wasn't any wheel hop. I was able to go into fourth earlier than I had been able to up to that point, and actually after that point, this run ended up being my fastest run, and went pretty well. Run 4. Remember how I said I stopped doing a burnout last run? Well, I forgot to turn traction control off for this run because of that. And yeah, see what happens. I still managed to run a 13.480 at 110. Now on to my final run. Not my choice, Rain's choice. It was pretty late, but oh well. I wheel hopped so bad during this run that I threw the light for the ABS and threw the warning to check traction control. So I must have screwed up the tire monitors pretty bad on this one. They reset. I pulled the terminal off the battery and they reset after a little while. But yeah, this was a fun one. Now I know why people say to get control arms, because man, it was violent inside the car, which is definitely apparent from the GoPro footage.